Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Colonia in Uruguay. Colonia, as you can see, is a very small province here. Oh, sorry, department. I just did a province in Panama. Department is Uruguay. They have departments. Very tiny, but very important to its history. You can see the capital here is Colonia de Sacramento. And as you can see, it's located on the Rio de la Plata, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Buenos Aires in Argentina, which is very important to its history. Besides Colonia over here, or Sacramento as it's also called, I think it's an interchangeable name, or Colonia de Sacramento. Pretty much the rest of the department is just like ranch land, farmland. I didn't really find too much else to see out here. It is all farming, all cattle, because you know Uruguay loves their beef, just like in Argentina too, and Brazil. Big beef area in this part of the world. But it's also a big dairy center as well, because you got all those cows, you may as well make milk and cheese too. So Colonia is definitely by far the main metropolitan area. And the old town of Colonia is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So let me grab my book, my big old book here. Let's go to my Colonia tab that I made, and we can read about Colonia. Dun, dun, dun. The historic quarter of the city of Colonia del Sacramento in Uruguay. Founded by the Portuguese in 1680, Colonia del Sacramento was built on the extreme west side of a peninsula by the Rio de la Plata. It illustrates the successful fusion of Portuguese, Spanish, and Uruguayan styles. In 1704 to 1705, during the War of the Spanish Succession, the town was razed to the ground by the Spanish. The Portuguese began reconstruction immediately, and Sacramento became the powerhouse of material, commercial, and cultural development in the colony. Its success had a decisive influence on the development of Buenos Aires and its region. The siege of 1777 saw Sacramento incorporated into the Spanish Empire. There are excellent examples of 17th to 19th century buildings, ranging from elegant townhouses to artisans' dwellings. And the town has preserved its wide main streets, large squares, cobbled lanes, and intimate open spaces. You can see an example down here of one of the main roads. It's pretty much, whenever I've been researching, this road comes up every time as an example of the architecture here. Just little guys, right? Just little homes. There's some much fancier ones, of course, but this road always comes up when I research. So let's talk about this history. As you can tell, it was very turbulent. This place went back and forth between the Portuguese and Spanish many times. So let's get into it. Like the book says, Colonia del Sacramento was established in 1680 by the Portuguese. It was originally a little military/agricultural outpost, and the Spanish over here immediately saw it as a threat. Immediately, they began to attack the area before it could even be finished being built. Because, you know, Rio de la Plata is very important to the Spanish here, living here in Buenos Aires. And also, like the book said, during the War of the Spanish Succession, the Spanish were fighting the Portuguese and vice versa. The Spanish sieged the city between October 1704 and February 1705. The Portuguese eventually had to flee the city to survive, and the Spanish took it over. But after the war ended and they were drawing up the treaties in 1718, the Spanish gave it back to the Portuguese, which, like the book says, they really started to. build it up and make it into the beautiful old town that we see today. The expansion once again threatened the Spanish, and once it was getting too big, the Spanish declared war and attacked it, and the Spanish would occupy Colonia yet again between 1749 and 1762. When again it went back to the Portuguese. But in 1777, like it said, there's another conflict, and in that peace treaty, the Portuguese actually willingly gave up Sacramento to the Spanish because it meant that they could keep a lot of southern Brazil, what's today southern Brazil, and they saw that more important than that. So then it went back to the Spanish. Now, the 1800s arrive. Napoleon invades Spain. Spain is falling apart. Many of the areas that Spain controlled start revolutioning. That's not a word. Start rising up and being like, you know, if they're not going to rule us, we're going to rule us. And starting independence movements. Colonia de Sacramento became part of an area known as the Federal League, which really spread across a lot of Argentina, Chile, into Uruguay and Paraguay, trying to create essentially a new country to rule themselves. But once Napoleon was done for, Spain came back in full force to try to recoup their losses. And in 1817, actually, the Portuguese would come and take it back. They would incorporate it into Brazil in 1821. Or I should say Brazil incorporated it into itself in 1821. This Uruguay was part of Brazil once Brazil became Brazil. Now at this point, the people here were like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. No more going back between Portuguese and Spanish. I think the people here must have been mostly Spanish speaking by that point and were like, not the Portuguese again. Like, we're over it. Uruguay would start its own independence movements in 1825 and would have full independence by 1828. Now it's beautiful little Uruguay. Its own thing. And that's pretty much where the history of Colonia del Sacramento peacefully ends. Finally, the turbulence is over. It becomes a little port town just across the way from Buenos Aires. It's considered, you know, if you're vacationing over here, just grab a boat and visit Uruguay. Visit the old town here and check it out. And then hop right back, you know, have a little day trip into Uruguay and visit Colonia del Sacramento. It is a tourist area, but for the history nerds like me. It's not a beach town that's more over here in Uruguay, on the actual ocean coast, not the Rio de la Plata. It is a tourist area to learn about the history of Uruguay. So it has a lot of visitors, but not like beachgoers, right? Historian nerds like me. That's essentially the history of Colonia for here. Much, much, much quieter after Uruguayan independence. So with that being said, why don't I grab my tablets, let me hit the lights, and we will explore Colonia Department on Google Earth. Let's go. Here we are in Colonia Department. And let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here is Uruguay. Just a little guy wedged between two big powers here, Brazil and Argentina. Very easy to find on a map if you're looking at a map like this of South America, because you can see the big Rio de la Plata. I know the words are covering it up right there, but the Rio de la Plata is very easy to find on the map. This big, like, cut into the land there. Cut by Mother Earth, of course. You don't really see anything like that along the coast of Brazil, except up there, but that's the Amazon. That's different. At least on this side. Very easy to find the Rio de la Plata. That's where you can find Buenos Aires. Hola to my Argentinian viewers out there. You guys are all so kind. And my Buenos Aires video is still doing well to this day. So thank you, thank you. You can see La Plata just think La Plata is closer than Buenos Aires. Looks equidistant. But that's the Rio de la Plata right there. And here is Colonia del Sacramento. And you can see the old town here because it's in these perfect squares. It almost looks like Barcelona. It's so perfect. But here's an interesting thing. When I see a lot of these old Spanish style, or I guess in this case, old Portuguese style towns, you see these squares, but one thing you don't see is a lot of trees. But look at this. It is so green in between all of these squares of buildings. It's gorgeous. Look at all of the trees. It is so green. It must be so nice and shady in the summertime. There are so many trees in this downtown, just creating these little avenues of green around it. Isn't that so quaint? You don't see that in a lot of colonial towns. That's what sets Colonia del Sacramento apart. So here's the Bastion de San Pedro. This main point, big Uruguayan flag there. Someone called me out last week for having nails that look like the Uruguayan flag. I was like, oh, I guess it did. It was just meant to look beachy, but yeah. Oh, see these old homes here and the old cobbled streets. Perfect example of the old homes here. Oops. There's lots and lots of museums down here. I wonder, is the everything filter on? No, it's not. There we go. Here's the old lighthouse, which looks much newer compared to all of this. This must be very recently built. And next to it is an old monastery as well. There's the view from the top, looking across the Rio de la Plata. Yeah, I think this was a monastery, I want to say. Let's see. Old ruins here. Oh, convent. Close enough. The old convent here that clearly got destroyed in one of the many conflicts that this city had to endure. Far too many. And all the ruins there. You can see right here from above. But yeah, there's, so you can see lots of different museums. This one's an open air museum of a historic house, Casa de Virrey. Or what's left of it at least. Cool statue there in the middle. You can walk over what was once buildings there. What is that? It is a big jaguar? I don't know what that is. That sure is something, isn't it? Oh, here's just a slideshow of the old town. See, there's old road there, and the ruins, and the beautiful streets. That's too many bumper stickers. When you can't see out the windows, that's too many. You know what I bet it is? I bet it's a car that's parked there and people leave stickers on it. That's pretty fun. I bet you that's what it is. Look at this old abandoned car. It's overgrown. There's the docks area. There's another lighthouse. Ooh, at night, isn't it pretty? Very cool. Little place to dine and wine. Lots of the old towns. Oh, a colorful little cafe there. And some azulejos. There's quite a lot of those here because it's a Portuguese art style. Blue tiles put together to make a picture. I think there's an azulejos museum somewhere around here. More ruins over here. Ruinas das casas dos gobernadores portugueses. Yeah, see, like you can see, this is a place to do historical tours, right? This isn't a place to get your swimsuit and surfboard, as you can see. This is a place for history nerds like me to explore this very old town. And there's all kinds of sights to see around here. Here's another one. Bastion Histórico. So many historic sites down here. It's Perfect that the UN is protecting this place to keep these historic sites here preserved forever. There's the old sign, Colonia. Colonia. And these old little roads and these little boxy buildings here. It's all very rustic over here. Look at the beautiful trees all lit up at night. And these roads here. The little casas. Old cars. Before it got covered in stickers. Look at that. Is that the same car? Look at this beautiful tree next to this cute little building here. Very, very cool. It's beautiful here. There's the overgrown car, the big Uruguay flag, the lighthouse, cannons to defend against either the Spanish or the Portuguese, mostly the Spanish. It seems that, like on the scorecard, the Portuguese mostly got it peacefully, and the Spanish mostly took it by force. There's an origami museum. There's all kinds of museums around here. There's loads to see. There's an aquarium. Central Cultural Bastion del Carmen. Oh, that's cool. Neat little art piece there. What is this? Looking down inside of a big stone building of some kind. There's old ruins there. It's a gorgeous area. I imagine you would need a couple of days to explore all of this. Like, we haven't even left this area. We've seen so much. There's an old, that's the old town slideshow, right? Ciudad Vieja. You see there's those old buildings, the street that we saw on the UNESCO page. Examples of these old homes, or what used to be old homes, what's left of them. And some of the pretty ones, there's that car again, but look at all that Spanish moss creeping around. This area is roped off, probably because maybe that place is too dilapidated to enter. But you could still appreciate it from the outside. Oh, look, this car's covered in stickers now. This was taken recently, so maybe there's more. Little boats out there, little sailboats. Enjoying the Rio de la Plata. You see, like, we're still... we haven't left this area, and we've already seen so many slideshows of historic places, right? We haven't even got to the main square yet. The August 25th Plaza. Let's see what's in there, if we can. Monumento a la Madre. Let's see that. Oh, that's sweet. Mother's Monument. Very, very sweet. Apparently we can't look at the park, but you can see from above it's greener than even this very green area, isn't it? But yeah, there's so much to see over here. I highly, highly encourage you, if you enjoyed these slideshows. Let's look at one more. To the old railway station. Oh, we saw the sign already in the building. But yeah, there's so much more to see. La Estación. Check it out for yourself in your free time. If you're ever bored, hop on Google Earth and just explore all the museums over here. There's so many more I didn't show you. There's a little beach right there. It's a gorgeous place. There's a huge park over here, Parque Ferrando, with all these beautiful trees. We got palm trees, we got leafy trees, we got needly trees, we got dead trees, we got big trees. Almost looks like a sycamore, but I don't think it is. Oh, beautiful area. Look at this twisty tree. That's its scientific name, of course, the twisty trees. Skinny guys and thick guys all covered in vines and greenery. Big cross, beaches, little flowers. It's a beautiful area. They're having a party. All right. Look at these big old twisty trees here. Twisty trees. Loud car outside. Wants to see all of the mossy trees. The swampy trees. Yeah, there's so much to see in this little town. pretty great. Let's look at this beach, Playa del Real. Yeah, not really the place to, party it up on the beach. That's on the other end of Uruguay, on the ocean, not on the Rio de la Plata side. There are many beach resorts in Uruguay. These are not one of them, but there are some boutique hotels and places to stay at. Let's look at the Rambla, and then I'll show you the other areas. This is the seaside road, the Rambla, I guess you'd call it, where you can walk along and see the Rio de la Plata. I wonder if you can see Buenos Aires from across the way, maybe on clear days. The little jail there. I wonder, is that Argentina way out there? Is that Argentina? Let me know if someone has been there. Can you see Argentina from here? Maybe if you're up in that lighthouse and you have a big view, you can see it. Or on this clock tower there. Very imposing looking clock tower. Look at this sunset. Look at all the colors in the sky. But besides that, as you can see, it's all farmland, ranchland. There's not very many. Let me get the borders up just in case we don't want to wander too far out of the way. Yeah, because it cuts off right up there. Okay. Not much else to see. Let's see if this national park area is. Oh, yeah. Uruguay's presidents. Parque Acorina. Residencia Presidencial. Wow. Old wagons. Yeah, the other slideshows I found a couple of okay ones, but nothing like, I just gotta show them when it's time to film this video, like nothing too extreme, because you can see it's farmland. Farmland is so beautiful from above. Little patchwork quilt, but nothing too great to show you guys other than it is farmland. Farms. Cattle. All around. Ranches. Yeah, nothing really great to show you. But if anyone wants to check out these areas, maybe if you find some good pictures, you can let us know in the comments and we can check them out ourselves. There's another beach over here. Maybe we'll look at that at the end of the video. I think so. Let's check it out. Playa Agreste de los Piamonteses. Let's see. Oh my gosh, look at that old boat. That is rusty. I don't want to end it here. I want to look at this rusty shipwrecked boat. Yeah, not quite a party beach, right? It's especially with all that rust out there. You don't wanna hang out there. You might get tetanus. Not a safe place to hang out. How about this? I think this is a better place to end the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. I just realized that all the videos this week were in the Western Hemisphere. We did Honduras, we did Panama, we did Uruguay, and next we're going to the United States, hopping way up there to one of the states in the United States. Do you know which one it is? Let me know in the comments down below. Your hint is that this is Colonia, and then we did Colon. What comes next alphabetically? Do you know? Look at those cacti. Wow. Please don't forget to give this video a little thumbs up. Give it a like. Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Wow. And please, if you can, please hype this video. Hype it for these cacti. The cacti would like if you'd hype it to this video. Thank you very much. I hope that you found this video to be, what is that? I don't know. I hope you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good night. Good night. Good night. I should also say hola to my Uruguayan viewers. You guys are also very sweet. There's something about this Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina area that you guys are just so kind. Like those three countries right there. Not, I love Chile. I love Colombia. But there's, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a mean comment from anyone from Brazil, Uruguay, or Argentina. So shout